This is not breaking news. This is not a scandal. This is not about one person. What's happening right now in Washington is something far more dangerous and far more systemic. There's a quiet rebellion brewing, one that could shape the future of America for generations. Republicans, Trump's own Republicans, are pushing back against their own leader, and they're doing it over a question more dangerous than any political squabble. It's not a debate about policy, it's a question of power. What happens when a president decides that the rules don't apply to him? What happens when the very system that was designed to constrain executive power starts to crumble? What happens when power isn't seen as a responsibility, but as a personal entitlement? These are the questions being asked right now. And I'm here to tell you this. You won't fully grasp what's at stake until you see where this is headed. Because the consequences of this fight aren't just political, they're existential. Let's get into it. In Washington, power is no longer what it seems. It's not about the president or even the people around him. The true force driving this crisis, it's a machine quietly grinding forward, a machine built to concentrate power, a system that operates in the shadows using emergency powers and military threats to sidestep the rules. This isn't about Donald Trump's personal preferences or his erratic decisions. It's about the very architecture of power in America. Think about it. When a president can declare an emergency at will, bypass Congress, and manipulate the machinery of government to avoid scrutiny, that's not just one person in charge. That's a system that is working for one person, regardless of the law. Right now, this system is in full swing. And the question isn't whether Trump will control it, it's whether anyone will be able to stop him. Slow shifts in power are the hardest to see. A new president doesn't come in and demand control. It happens in stages, piece by piece, until suddenly the boundaries are no longer where they used to be. Remember a time when emergency powers were reserved for true crises? A time when threats of war didn't come from the president's Twitter feed, but from real calculated decisions made after extensive deliberation? That time feels farther and farther away. What we're witnessing now is the erosion of those norms, slow, unnoticed, normalized. No one looks up one day and declares, "We've lost control of the system." Instead, it happens quietly when the rules we've always relied on begin to slip away, one small action at a time. And that's the most dangerous part, the slow burn of systemic collapse. The more it happens, the less we recognize what's truly at stake. But something snapped. A move, an action, a single moment that couldn't be ignored. It wasn't a policy shift or a sudden scandal. It was a decision, a vote, a war powers resolution, introduced not by the Democrats, but by Trump's own party. Republicans, normally loyal to the president, turned on him. They joined forces across the aisle, demanding that the president's unchecked military power be reined in. Why does this matter? Because it's a statement, a sharp break in what we thought was possible. These weren't token protests. These were legislative moves with consequences. This isn't a debate over policy. It's an intervention, one that could reshape the balance of power in America forever. Here's the hidden truth. The system isn't working the way you think it is. What we see on the surface, the debates, the headlines, are just distractions. The real engine driving this crisis, it's the concentration of power, the ability of one person, unchecked, to bend the entire system to their will. The president doesn't just act impulsively. He's playing a long game, a game where emergency declarations aren't about crises, they're about control. By declaring emergencies, Trump bypasses Congress, escapes oversight, and shifts power directly to the executive. The question is simple. Who benefits from this, and who is left to absorb the damage? When the system bends like this, it's the institutions, the Senate, the judiciary that bear the brunt. And when these institutions fail, so does the rule of law. The crisis is accelerating. It's no longer just about a single resolution. It's about everything breaking loose at once. Trump's reaction was swift, brutal, and telling. He didn't negotiate. He didn't reach out. Instead, he lashed out, using threats and intimidation. A phone call full of crude language and hostility aimed directly at those Republicans who dared cross him. But here's the twist. It didn't work. Senator Collins didn't change her vote. Neither did the others who defied him. The more he escalates, the less power he seems to have over his own party. That's the real shockwave in Washington today. His own allies, once loyal, now question whether his hold on power is worth the risk. Now, let me bring this closer to home. You, yes, you're the one who will feel the consequences. When a president treats military action like a bargaining chip, it's not just a political game, it's personal. Families in uniform will feel the weight. When trade agreements crumble, workers will lose their jobs. When alliances fracture, entire economies can spiral into chaos. And let's not forget the ripple effect. You rely on systems, on predictability, on stability. But when those systems break down, you're the one left scrambling. This isn't just about Washington anymore. It's about your future, your security, your life. But the impact doesn't stop at our borders. When a president's actions destabilize global alliances, the effects are felt far beyond Washington. Think about it. If the U.S. acts recklessly against its own allies, threatening military force against Denmark, for example, the entire structure of international relations begins to crumble. NATO, an alliance built on mutual defense, could fracture. And with that fracture comes a cascade of consequences. Adversaries become emboldened, neutral nations recalibrate their allegiances, and the world becomes less predictable. This isn't just America at risk. This is a global tipping point, one where the future of international stability is hanging in the balance. Now, we have to look ahead. What happens next isn't clear, but we have three possible paths, each one more dangerous than the last. First, there's the path of asterisk, asterisk adjustment, asterisk, asterisk. Congress steps in, the War Powers Resolution holds, the system fights back, and power is recalibrated. This would require a shift in how Washington operates, but it's still possible. Second, there's the path of asterisk, asterisk, erosion, asterisk, asterisk. Slowly, methodically, the system gives way. Norms are broken, checks and balances become optional, and one president's unprecedented actions become the standard for all future leaders. Over time, democracy's foundations weaken, and then there's the path of asterisk, asterisk, rupture, asterisk, asterisk. The system collapses entirely. Laws and institutions lose their meaning, and power becomes a personal tool for any leader who can seize it. We'd wake up in a very different America, one where democracy itself is on life support. We don't know which of these will happen, but one thing's clear, things are accelerating. But here's the thing, no matter which path we end up on, the rules are being rewritten right now. This isn't just about Trump. It's about what comes next. It's about the very future of our democracy. And what happens in Washington today will shape the world tomorrow. If we allow power to concentrate unchecked, if we let one president bend the system to his will, future leaders will follow. They will see that the Constitution is just a suggestion, that power is theirs to take, and the system won't stop them. This revolt, this moment, isn't just a fight for the present, it's a fight for the future. A future where the system of checks and balances still means something, where the rule of law isn't just a relic of the past. So what happens next depends on you. Will the system hold? Will the people in power stand firm? Or will we wake up to a world where power is a personal possession and democracy is just a word? This is the moment we're living through, and it's too important to ignore. If this video helped you understand the stakes, make sure to subscribe. I'll be breaking down developments like this regularly, no spin, just the facts. And I want to hear from you. Do you think this revolt will succeed, or will the president's power grow even more unchecked? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.